Are we live?
We're live.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just sitting here and I'm wondering if we're live or not. Hi, it's Roz. Good afternoon. It's Friday, September the 21st. It's CannaTalk with Roz live here in partnership with the Black Business School and Boyce Watkins Enterprises. Fly Nubian Queens. We're on that platform. We're on the M4MM platform, which is Minorities for Medical Marijuana. I'm Roz McCarthy, the founder, CEO of Minorities for Medical Marijuana. I'm actually here. I got my New York hat on because I'm in New York. Well, I'm actually in Jersey right now, but I was in New York yesterday on business, working with our communications director in the city, and I felt the New York vibe, so I thought I would rock my New York hat today. So I want to welcome everybody to the platform. I want to thank you. I want to just blessings to everyone on this fine Friday. I'll share with you guys. Yesterday, we did something phenomenal. It was pretty mind blowing. We had a community forum in Trenton, New Jersey. And New Jersey, across the board, is a state where the incarceration of African Americans, specifically for marijuana crimes, is extraordinarily high. When you look at an increased population of inmates of 27,000 per year, and 84% are African American, and about 47 to 48% of those incarcerations are based upon marijuana possession. That's a lot, especially when you talk about legalization that's happening in the state. So last night, my Central Jersey market director hosted a community forum. We had a great panel. Ken Waleski, thank you so much. We had Darren Green was the moderator. We had Gitano, who was a researcher in the cannabis industry. We had someone from LEAP, Nick, thank you so much. And of course, our sponsor yesterday was Reuben and Green Medicine, New Jersey. And we want to thank you, Reuben, and thank you, Green Medicine, New Jersey, for sponsoring the community forum. It was well attended, great information. Just people need to get connected, and they want to understand more. They want to learn more. They want more education. They want to know, and their questions need to be addressed. And some of the things that we talked about was social justice. How do we address that? We talked about, what are the new updates regarding the New Jersey marijuana law, the medical marijuana laws. We talked about expungements and, how can you, from a state perspective, make sure that, the expungement program or having something that's going to really help to get people back on the right track. Such a great sharing of information. So thank you guys for that. So I want to get started. Let me get my glasses. I got my notepad and my pen. So we have Mike here. He's kind of like my co-host, actually helping me to moderate through this. And I'm going to make sure that we look at our participants that we have. Do we have anyone on your side, Mike, that's in the queue right now? And we'll see.
Yes, I have a question right here. I'm gonna ask it later.
All right. So yeah, if you have a question, so right now we don't have, in the attendees are still coming in and coming through in regards to on the Zoom side. But if you have a question, shoot it for me and let me see what it is, and let me see how best I can answer it. You there, Mike? Hello?
Yes, I'm here. So first question. Hi, Roz. Can you suggest a credit card processor or merchant for e-commerce of CBD or marijuana paraphernalia? Thanks. From Gary Lloyd.
Yes. So hi, Gary. Yes, there are multiple companies out here right now. I can definitely suggest, actually, I have a couple that are members. What I want to tell you is that when you're looking for a credit card processor, someone that you need for your CBD company, or for if you're looking to have a cannabis dispensary in a legalized state, make sure that you do your homework. And make sure you work with those individuals that have worked with cannabis companies before, that kind of understand some of the different issues that go along with it. I have about 2 or 3 referrals that I can refer to you. And what I want to do is I'm going to make a note right here to get those names for you. and what the things that you want to ask for when you're talking with them, you want to ask in regards to how long they've been in business, how many clients or customers they have that are specifically in the CBD or in the cannabis business. So make sure that they've had that relationship before. They know exactly what is needed from that perspective. The next thing that you want to ask is, again, from a customer standpoint, is, what's the onboarding look like? What are the fees that are involved? How, exactly from your perspective, you want to know how much they're charging you to process your orders and to organize the cash flow of your money. And then also, if you have any type of software program like a QuickBooks or however you're managing your accounting purposes, you want to make sure that if it's possible that there's some connectivity and that their program aligns with, or that it recognizes your program, so that basically you want to do a dumping of data if possible. So as you process and you see all this stuff happen, it actually puts it in populates tables that tell you exactly your revenue that comes in. So basically you can start looking at your revenue, your expenses, but also looking at and predicting what your financials are going to look like based upon how much you're processing. So those are the type of things that I encourage you to ask those questions when you're looking for a processor. I do have about 3 people I know of. I have 2 that are members and 1 person top of mind. And so what we'll do is, if you, Mike, can make sure we get that information or his information, I will make sure I send him their name and their contact phone numbers, and he'll get it. Or what I'll do also, I'll post it on Black Cannabis Network for you, and I'll post it on M4MM, and we can post it on Fly Nubian Queen. So we're going to post 3 processors, credit card processors, who could help you if you are starting a CBD business. So we'll make sure we get that out for you. Okay. Next question. What do you have, Mike?
There's no question on queue as of now.
Okay. So then what we'll do is we'll look at, some of the things that have come up in regards to questions that I've gotten in the past, in regards to on the business side. How do you start or how do you get started when you're looking to do partnerships with other different companies and that are out there in the space? For example, license holders, folks that have a license. And if you're an edible company or you're someone that wants to start an edible company, some of the things that you want to look for when you're wanting to go out there. And I will tell you right now, there's something called a MJ Biz has a listing, a listing of every single cannabis company that you can think of. It's expensive. And what I would recommend is you go in conjunction with someone that wants to get into the industry. And I think it's about $500, but you guys can share the data. And MJ Biz has every single cannabis company, dispensary, cultivator, processor, manufacturer, ancillary business. They do a really, really good job in capturing all of that data. So long story short, now you get all this data. You have the name of the company, you know how much revenue they do. It tells you this, it gives you like a CEO or someone in an executive position, a phone number and an email address. Well, the first thing that you want to do is you want to have a capability statement about your company, who you are, and what you're interested in doing. So if you're an edible company and your company has, your ROZ is edible, make sure you tell them where you're located, that you are an LLC, that you have. Tell them a little bit about, the owners of the company and how much experience you have. And so if those, you're still there? Okay. So what you want to do is, with that being said, you want to make sure that folks know exactly who you are and that you got your stuff together. If you have a website, make sure your website is in perfection in regards to, it doesn't have to have a lot of content, but make sure it talks about who you are, what you're trying to get done. You can pull pictures, you can go to stock photos, buy your stock photos, make sure that you own those photos. I use Wix.com. I use GoDaddy sometimes. There's Squarespace. There are websites that are out there for you to be able to put together your website. These are platforms that you can be able to breathe life into your business. So long story short, when you're going out and you're looking to do connections and looking to do partnerships, they want to make sure that you have your business together. And then also you want to have your business plan and be ready for your pitch. And your pitch is who you are, what you want to get done, and why you want to do it with that particular company. So these are things to think about. And when you do it via email, you can do an email that says, hey, I want to introduce myself. We're Edibles Line. We're minority owned. Tell them that you're a diverse person, that you are a diverse business owner. They're looking to do business with diverse business owners. And say that you're interested in connecting the dots and figuring out how you can maybe bring your brand to their customer base. And once you do that and you start having dialogue and conversation, and if you get a reply back, and let me tell you something, you may see that when you first, if you first get started and you hear a no, or you don't get a reply back, or you don't get feedback back, don't get discouraged. Don't give up. Keep going. I'm telling you, you need to have 10 no. You'll take 10 no's before you get one yes. But keep going. Don't stay focused on your plan, on the prize, on what you want to get accomplished, and know that, with the work that you have to do, it doesn't happen overnight. But you want to start having something where you can start going through and knowing who are these dispensary owners, who are these cultivators, how do you connect the dots with them and go from there. Let me tell you guys, there are several different states that are very mature, like a California, a Colorado, a Washington, an Oregon. But as time goes on, you're going to see other states who are not as mature. They're very wide open, meaning they don't have partnerships in place. They're not working with anyone right now. So now is the time. If you're in Philadelphia, well, go to the Department of Health, pull up the license holders that are licensed to do business in Philadelphia, meaning cultivate and dispense, and reach out to them. And I should say not Philadelphia, but in Pennsylvania. So Department of Health for Pennsylvania. Same thing for Ohio. Same thing for Florida. If you go to the Department of Health for Florida, you can go to the Office of Medical Marijuana Use, and you can pull up the information on every license holder in the state of Florida. You get that information, and then you go out and you make sure that you connect those dots, introduce yourself, but make sure your business plan and everything that you want to do is really, really tight and well put together, and shoot your best shot, and know that the opportunity is there. You just have to go for it. So Mike, I'm here. Any other questions on your end yet, Mike?
Still nothing.
Okay, all righty. Mm-hmm. We got 14 participants on here, so hold on one second. Hold on, guys. All right, so we got our attendees. So Mike, we have a Diana Wilson on. Can you allow her to talk, please? Diana, can you hear me? Diana? Diana?
So here's a question from Herbert Jacobs. Okay. What are your thoughts about Coca-Cola's possible entry into the cannabis beverage industry?
My thoughts are, I'm not surprised. One of the biggest things that came out in the news this week was Coca-Cola, as well as it was what's the beauty line? It was, oh gosh, I can't. It was Coca-Cola with the CBD drinks, and it was not L'Oreal, but it was one of the beauty companies that's coming out with a CBD infused product. And long story short, I'm not surprised. Let me tell you something. We're on the cusp of a industry that's going to be bigger than you can imagine. And so you can imagine right now that they are going through their due diligence and figuring out, they see what's happening, they see the storm, and they want to be involved in it. So I'm not surprised, to answer your question. Therefore, I would highly suggest that anyone that's a drink infused product. So let's say, for example, if anyone out here ever had the opportunity to make a drink product or what have you, infusing CBD into a drink product is not hard. The two things that you need is you need a processor, someone to process your product for you. So you have your drink formula, you have your CBD, you combine it together, and now you have a CBD infused drink. And so I'm not surprised from Coca-Cola. I expect if Coca-Cola is going to do it, that you're going to see other different soft drink companies come on board as well. And this is what happens in any industry. If you see the airlines increase their price for your luggage to onboard your luggage, you see the next airline does the same thing. So the same exact thing with the software, with the beverage companies, you're going to see another domino effect of these beverages companies coming on board and wanting to participate in the CBD market. So just get prepared for it. Know that it's happening. And you know what? That's where you start looking at stock-wise. Maybe that's where, if you want to invest, you're looking at companies who are wanting to get into the cannabis industry and knowing that there's a possibility that it may have a significant increase in earnings because they have a brand new product line that's very specific to this industry. So something to think about. Diana, are you there?
I'm here, but I'm here, but I don't have a question. I'm just listening.
Okay, all righty. Well, tell me where you're from, Diana.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, well, hi, Miss Atlanta, Georgia. Well, I'm glad you're here listening. And so if you do, just raise your hand. If you guys do have a question, raise your hand. I'll go through and I want to just go through and let you introduce yourself. And if something comes to mind, make sure you ask. But thank you and welcome. And thank you for being a part of us today, okay?
Thank you and love your show.
Thank you so much, Diana. I appreciate you, my love. Hey, Barry. We got Barry Nimhard, I think. Am I pronouncing it right, Barry? You there, Barry? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Good. Yes. So excited to finally talk to you live. Goodness, what an honor.
No. Hey, I'm just ordinary people, excited about what I do and also about connecting with folks. So thank you so much. Where are you from?
I'm here in New York, New York.
You're in New York. Listen, brother, I'm representing today. Look. I was on 34th and Broadway. Well, I was at Broadway and 29th yesterday, and I had a couple of meetings down there. So it was great. I took the train in, and I live in Florida, so being in the city is like, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's the energy is very is very addictive in regards to what goes on and just people hustling and bustling. So I loved it.
Yeah, well, that makes us interesting friends because my favorite part of Florida so far is Fort Lauderdale because I love the water.
That's absolutely I love the rightly so.
So hopefully
rightly so.
Hopefully you're gonna help me figure out how to get my yacht.
Okay, let's talk about it. So tell me, what's your thoughts right now? Are you interested in the industry, or what are you thinking, or what kind of pushed you to come on the call today?
Well, I've been following the industry probably for.
Hey Barry, speak up a little bit. Speak up just a little bit more for me.
Sure, I've been following the industry for about 7 years.
Okay.
And I kind of come with an unusual background because I've been in business, have been a small business consultant, and my brother and uncle are physicians.
Okay.
So, when I started to see this, I started to talk to them, are you going to get licenses? And so we started to have that conversation. And then some of my family has been in farming, and then for me, in my journey, I've really been focusing on the hemp side.
Okay.
You can make clothes, you can make food. People
right.
don't know, billions of dollars from Canada comes into the country. But Roz, I had an interesting experience, and hopefully you can shed some light. There's a company called Biodistillation out of California, and they I don't know if you remember the big ethanol push, right?
Okay.
They were biodiesel and all that good stuff.
Yes.
I find out that this particular company I was speaking with the CEO. He's out in California, has a big facility. I'll be out there the end of the month.
Okay.
Really explained to me food grade. For instance, somebody's producing, I'm a grower, producing marijuana.
Okay.
Part of that production, I did not know, has some propane and those type of things in its processing. So if you're ingesting that kind of product in your body, that's not good,
Right.
right? That's not good. And
Right.
so what he was explaining is that at the federal level, a lot of these growers are having problems right now because one, they got an energy problem. It takes a lot of energy to do and generate that. And so what he basically explained to me, Roz, and hopefully you can walk me through this process, is that he has a process using alcohol and grain alcohol, food grade alcohol, that can cut grow facilities' cost 30%,
Okay.
which is significant.
Very
30%,
significant.
and produce a better, cleaner food grade CO2. So basically, he broke down statistically and through numbers in real time. He said, come to the facility, see it for yourself. Don't take my word. And so I said, wow, this is amazing. And he says, we're doing it all off of, listen to this, Roz, off of food waste.
Okay.
I said, what? He says, yeah. So when food goes rotten, so I'm able to go to a landfill or restaurant or whatever, give me your waste. I'll take the cost away from you. I take that onto my farm, let it spoil, turn it into alcohol, and I can run my greenhouses pretty much with a 30% or more reduction in energy costs, increase my yield, increase my production, increase everything. It's like a win-win, Roz. And I was like,
yep.
Man, this is huge.
So
yeah,
I want to stop you. I want to stop you right there because I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
So for everybody that's here listening, and if you guys are not up, because again, he's going into a lot of detail that a lot of you guys may not know. And the way that I'm looking at it, and I may not be the end all and be all and know everything, but the way it sounds like is, when you cultivate, the next thing after cultivation is, one, cultivation does take a lot of energy. There are a lot of lighting sources. You have to, depending on what type of environment that you are cultivating in, you have to have a humidifier, and especially in really humid climates, you have to be able to control the climate and control inside of that greenhouse, and the energy that it takes to do that. What you're speaking about sounds like the extraction process. Because remember, in order to do your edibles, in order to do your tinctures, if you're not smoking, if you're not utilizing cannabis, using the plant, the flower, being able to take the flower and being able to roll it up and being able to smoke it, there's other delivery models. But in order to use those delivery models, you have to take the flower, extract the oil from it, and then process it to use it for other different, other different means and delivery measures. And so the extraction process is something where you have big CO2 machines. I mean, there's different type of ways to extract. And what it sounds like he's talking about is that instead of using propane and using some of the highly flammable, volatile procedures in regards to extraction, that he's wanting to extract utilizing this alcohol based upon it's a food derivative of food, basically spoiled food that turns into, and being able to process that into an alcohol that then is used to extract the oil from the plant. So that's what it sounds like. So I'll say this.
Yes.
If that is what it is, and you can do a 30% cost reduction, then you, my brother, need to figure out how you go in and become how you can either do a partnership with them under your own brand or under your company, where if you're able to utilize their technology and work with other cultivators and other processors, and be able to say, instead of using this processing, use ours, and we're going to cut your costs. And then whatever that revenue looks like, you should do a revenue sharing model with the company, because at the end of the day, they're looking to bring more people on board and online. And if you believe in it, and if you feel strong about it, and if you see the process, and first thing I would tell you, Barry, is do your homework. So
Yes.
if it were me and this was introduced to me, the first thing I would do is I would go Google CO2 extractions. I will Google hemp extraction, because there are two different ones. If extracting from a hemp plant and extracting from a cannabis plant, two different forms where they're both going to be for medicine, but used, and maybe the extraction is in different ways. But you know what, I'm not sure, so I would definitely go and Google and learn more about that. There's a couple of books on Amazon, and let me tell you guys, I've gotten, like, over the past week, I ordered about $50 worth of books from Amazon. And I get them used, and I get some new or what have you. But there's like a extraction guide for it's one called manufacturing and processing guide, with all of the specifics on how to process, how to make concentrates, things of that nature. Like, even myself, I'm in the industry, but I don't touch the plant, but I need to know this stuff. And so I would tell you that if you're interested in figuring out how you can get a little piece of what he's doing, and be able to build a business and a brand, or add this a part of what you're thinking to do in the industry, I like it. And just all I say is do your homework and make sure you know exactly what's being used now, how it's being used, and how your new process could be a better solution, how it's going to save time, and how it's going to save money. And if you do that, you'll be in a good space to have conversation with these folks that are not only have licenses right now, but the ones that are up and coming, that are going after new licenses in Maryland, in Virginia, in New Jersey, New York. I mean, New York is, they just had a meeting with the governor. Well, it wasn't with the governor, but the governor is having this task force go all around New York, talking about, what things do you want to see in the new bill. They're going to do an adult use bill in New York. It's coming. And so that means there's going to be a lot of cultivators, a lot of manufacturers coming to the state of New York. You need to be figuring out right now, how do I get my piece of the pie? How do I get in there? And how do I set myself up? And you don't have to always be starting from scratch. If somebody else has a technology, guys, and if it's a good technology and it works, and it's something that you want, you believe in, you go and you strike a deal with them and say, listen, I can bring new business to you, but this is what I want. We need to negotiate what that revenue sharing is going to look like, and then go from there.
I'm so glad you said that, Roz. I don't know if you can hear me.
I hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, is that I did cut the deal with them.
Okay, good.
And that's why I'm going out to California. But I need to find out, Roz, because I don't know everything, and I'm not a greedy person. So is there a possibility that I can bring you on as a consultant through this process?
Absolutely. And not only that, before you bring me on as a consultant, I'll do you one better. I got other folks, and I got folks out in California that are members of our organization that I would love to introduce you to, that can also, there's a guy, his name is, I'm thinking, James, what's your last name? I can't think of his last name, but he's out of Sacramento, and he is awesome man. He is an agriculturist. He has some experience in this. There's other folks that are in the extraction business that have experience with it. But also, if you need, one thing that you can do is you can always join M4MM. It's $100 for the year. That's it.
No
but
problem.
when you do that
right now.
All you gotta do is go to our website, www.m4mmunited.org.
I'm actually driving. I can't write.
All right.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's okay. But what you can do is go to if you Google minorities for medical marijuana, our website will pop up. Go to the website, just click on our members and scroll down. It's right there. You can process right online. And then when you do that, you automatically will get all your information and get you all tied in. But we'll sit down and I'll start consulting with you just because you're a member, because that's a part of your membership to get free time with me. And then if we see there's something else that needs to go beyond an hour or so, or if it's something that you want to look at, a connectivity that's beyond what we're talking about, we can do that as a sidebar. But absolutely, anyone that's listening or what have you, one thing about the organization, and I'm grateful to be on this platform, is we want you guys to have just a place of solace, somewhere that you can go and bounce questions off of, that you can have other people that you can connect with. We use a software or a mobile app called Slack. And Slack is basically a platform that lets you talk to our other members and throw it out there. Hey, anybody out here has experience in cultivation and extraction? And you'll be surprised. There are people out here that have done it, and people that look like you and I that have done it. and people that may not look like you and I, but they're willing to share that information and help you make a decision. And also know your numbers, know exactly what the revenue opportunity looks like. Anybody that's out here, you got to know exactly if you're getting into something, do your homework, do your research, do it more so than the person that you're looking to partner with, so that when you talk to them, you blow their mind away. They're like, wow, you know my business better than I know my business. And that's how you make sure that you're always in a competitive situation where you're never having someone that's kind of pecking down on you. It's always you guys are even Steven in putting together your partnership and working together.
Roz, you're a queen. Thank you so much, and I will do
Thank
that.
You, brother. Do that and let me know. And if you have any issues or what have you, you can also find us on Facebook. Then also I'm on Facebook, Roz McCarthy. You can send me a direct message, anyone that's on here. But Minorities for Medical Marijuana is on Facebook as well. You can send us a message there as well. But let me know how we can help you, Barry. And I like where you're going with it. Keep going.
All right. Thanks, Roz.
Okay. Welcome, love. All right. Thank you. Hey, Audrey.
Okay.
How are you? Can you hear me, Audrey? Let's see if we can get up here. We got Audrey Bell Kearney. Hold on 1 second. Hi, Audrey.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Wait, hold on 1 second.
She's muted.
It's muted. Okay, can you unmute her, please? There we go.
I'm unmuted. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Hey, girl.
There.
How you doing? Listen, I'm here in Georgia, and I don't know. I would love to find out more about how to get into the industry, but we're in Georgia, so it's like everything is like, how do we do that? So, what advice do you give? It's a bunch of us down who would like to get into. We just don't know like what steps to take to move in that direction.
Okay, absolutely. So first, I would say is I'm glad that you are starting to just. Don't wait on Georgia to catch up. You stay ahead of Georgia in regards to getting yourself. You need to. One thing we need to do is there's a couple different things.
Okay.
When you talk about you want to get involved in Georgia, are you thinking from a business perspective, or what are you thinking about when you guys say I want to get involved? I want to see what's going on.
I'm thinking from a business perspective.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I would highly suggest is if you have a group, we do, and for MM, we do meetups where we have a Nicole Buffong, Nicole Buffong. She's our Georgia chapter president.
Okay.
Okay. So if you go to Minorities for Medical Marijuana, there's the Minorities for Medical Marijuana Georgia group. So you can just put M4MM Georgia, and that way you see what's going on. What I would highly suggest as well is you need to start getting a book that tells you about what are the cannabis business opportunities and ideas for you, so that you can start thinking about right now, what do you want to do in the industry?
Okay.
That's on the business side. Number two, if you're in Atlanta, you guys got to start talking and reaching out to your legislators, your elected officials, not in Atlanta, from at a state level. Okay. So when November comes in and they decide who's going to be the governor, the first thing that you guys need to start doing is rallying together. And that's why M4MM is here, because we can all rally together and work this out together. But sending a letter to the new governor, send it to the Secretary of State, send it to, the Department of Agriculture, saying, listen, we realize that other states are putting together sensible medical marijuana programs to help people who are ill and who are sick. And as a constituent, I want to know, what are you guys doing about this? And hold them, because it's one thing when they hear it from me as an M4MM, but it's another thing when they hear it from you being in the state of Georgia. I want you to, so the Black Business School has, I don't know if you're a part of the cannabis investor piece that they have going on here with the Black Business School. I would highly recommend being a part of that group, because the one thing about it is, if you don't stay in the circle of somebody, be a member of M4MM or be a part of the Black Cannabis something, you will lose your intensity and your desire and drive to do it. It'll start waning off, because you got to keep it in front of you. You got to keep do Google alerts too. So go to Google, and then if you go and set up how to set up Google alerts and put Google alert for Georgia.
Okay.
Okay, and it'll tell you how to set it up, and then it's going to ask you for keywords. You want to put cannabis, you want to put Georgia, you want to put medical marijuana, all one word.
Okay.
Okay. So what happens is in your email, in your Google email, every time there's any type of discussion, article, anything that's happening in Georgia about it, it sends it to you, as well as you may want to put, even if you want to know what's going on in the country overall, you can put, cannabis, and what it'll do is it'll give you like links to different news articles, and that way you can stay up. But I definitely say stay connected to these groups, and let's get you a part of Infra MM in Georgia, especially if it's a group of you guys. I mean, is it like, what exactly is it? Friends that you kind of come together that you guys are wanting to kind of make a difference and kind of connect the dots, or is it just you yourself?
Well, no, it's me and a couple of it's about 4 of us, and one of the people, well, 2 of the people in the group have been following the industry for a while. And so they were saying, I really want to get involved. And I kind of started looking at it recently. I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, but I realized that this is going to be a growing industry. And so I've been in Georgia, so crazy. I've only been here for 5 years. I'm from Jersey, so now Jersey's about to roll it out. So it's kind of crazy, but it's about
Jersey they are very, very progressive. I don't know if you heard me when I first came on. I'm in Jersey right now.
Okay.
And I did a program in Trenton last night. And let me tell you something. They got some really good things in their law here in Jersey. Like they've expanded. These are some of the things they're doing. So instead of a physician having to be a part of a registry, because right now in a lot of the different states, in order for a physician to be a recommending physician, he has to apply. He has to basically put an application in. He has to take an 8-hour course. And then once he's done with that course, he's put into a registry saying that he's a recommending physician. Well, in Jersey, they want to get rid of all of that. They want to make it so that if you're a physician, no matter what type of physician you are, you can recommend medical marijuana. Wow. So that way you don't have to. So like, let's say, for example, I'm not in the registry and you come see me and you say, well, can I try this? Well, that physician has the ability to recommend and say, yes, here, so they're doing things like that. They're making it so that for conditions, it's like in Florida, there's about 15 conditions. And in Jersey, they're looking at having 48 medical conditions that are, yes. So it's huge. And they're talking about having opioid management. So if you're on an opioid or you are addicted, you can start using medical marijuana to kind of wean you off of that addiction. They're doing some really cool things. And so if we don't and there's things that help us as people of color, from communities of color, for people that are not filthy rich, our poor people, they had something in their application that said, what are you going to do if you get a license to make sure that the indigent population has free or reduced medicine? These are the type of things we got to think about in Georgia. We cannot allow folks to create laws and not think about that there is not, sometimes it's not a black and white thing, it's a class thing. It's the rich and it's the poor. Right. And it just so happens that the poor, sometimes it looks like a lot of us is in that poor column. But so you can't create a law and create something, a medicine, and not make it available to the rich and to the poor. And if the rich can afford it, then how do we make sure that the poor, if they can't afford it, they still have access? And so those are the type of things that we got to think about. What do you do for a living?
I have an internet TV network and I'm a small business consultant. I used to be a small business consultant for Rutgers when I was in Jersey and Keene University.
Okay. Yeah. So what I would do is, you need to think about, imagine if you can be a cannabis business consultant for Georgia. Okay. Sounds good. You need to be an influencer in Georgia right now. Okay. That means that you start getting the skinny on what other states are doing. Okay. Start thinking about, so when someone says, hey, I need your advice, that you now, like, you can do your own CannaTalk with Audrey. Right. These type of things, I ain't start this way. It's just because I started getting a lot of information that I was like, you know what, I can't keep this information in. I got to share it and give some direction. So all I'm doing right now is being a consultant. I'm a business development consultant in the cannabis industry. So what's going to happen is you're going to have folks that want to invest money and not time. So they're going to want someone to say, well, listen, where should I put my money? You're going to have people that want to start a business and not know how to start a business in cannabis. They're going to need someone like you that says, okay, this is what you need to do. This is how you do it. And then what ends up happening is you might do an hour of consultation in cannabis. Then it's a good deal. And you find out, man, that's a great deal. I want to get in on that. Just like Barry. Barry's idea about what he's doing. So he and I start talking. I'm like, hey, Barry, I want to get on that deal. And that's how you create your own little private businesses that you have besides consulting. Because Barry may say, okay, great, Audrey, I want you to come in and be a partner with me on this deal. So now you got your own little side business. And then you may consult somebody else, and it might be something that's really something that you have a value that you can add. And then what ends up happening is then you have another little side business. So your consulting will allow you to connect the dots and meet people, but you have to be the subject matter expert. So I want your goal is to get on the Amazon, go, flip through there, find you one of those books, order one of those books on either just the overall of cannabis industry from a history perspective, from a science perspective, the business development perspective, and you get that one book and you read it, and therefore you start kind of developing your breadth and depth of your knowledge base, and then you start going from there. I think you could be definitely that's your sweet spot.
That's my sweet spot. Okay, thank you so much for that. I
really appreciate that. Do me a favor, make sure you also go like us on Facebook, follow us as well. When you're ready, I welcome you to come on and be a member of the organization. And if you send me a message at Roz McCarthy at Facebook, or you can email me at Roz, ROZ, at M as in Mary, the number 4, M as in Mary, united.org. Email me, and then I'll send you my information as well. But just let me know, I want to get Nicole's information for you, our chapter president there in Georgia.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, love. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, you too.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, we got a couple questions. Hold on one second. Okay, so it said, I have one question. Hi, Roz. I have a medical license. I'm sorry? Say it again now.
Can I use this to get into the business? That's
hold on.
Make it easier or have any advantages?
Okay, I'm listening. Yeah, I got it right here. So for this is I have a medical license and a DEA number. Can I use this to get into the business? Does it make it easier or have any advantages? Well, if you have a medical license and a DEA number, the DEA number is a federal number, so that is not an advantage to get into the business. The only thing that you need to get into the business, if you want to be a recommending physician and you want to have a physician practice that will assist patients in getting their medical marijuana card, you just need to take your business and basically split it in half. So you have your regular medical patients that you see, and then you create a new brand, a new LLC that would be, let's say, it's medical green heart, something like that, or whatever name you want to name it. That business is an LLC, and it focuses primarily on medical marijuana patients and servicing those patients. And what you would do is you would have separate set of records. You would have everything would be separate from your day-to-day patients that you see that you are being reimbursed from Medicare, Medicaid, insurance, and things of that nature. A lot of the patients that are being seen by medical marijuana physicians are, it is a cash business. A lot of patients pay with cash, but they can pay credit card or what have you. But you set your fees in regards to how you want to charge folks. We have a corporate member. His name is, the name of the company is called BudDoc, BUDDOC. And he's one of our corporate members, and he's an awesome guy. And he may be able to maybe spend some time with you and talk with you on how to get your business up and going if you want to go and you want to be a recommending physician. And then you also need to make sure that you tap into the Department of Health and find out what type of requirements they're asking you to have in place in order to be a physician for the industry.
Thank you, Roz.
To answer that question. Hi.
I just wanted to thank you, Roz. That was my question.
Okay, great. Great.
I I kind of wanted to not do it in a clinical setting.
Okay.
But at the same time, take advantage of my license.
Okay.
So not necessarily incorporated into private practice, but just something totally different.
So are you thinking like a medical spa? Or are you thinking,
okay.
I mean, maybe you weren't thinking that, but maybe like a medical spa or a, where are you located?
In New York.
You know what? Okay, my recommendation, stay with medical, stay with,
okay.
This is what I would think. If there's an opportunity to get a dispensary, and if New York does, they may do this because New Jersey's thinking about it, where they're looking at, like, if you have a dispensary, you can have a smoking lounge that's connected to the dispensary. So follow me here.
Okay.
So just think about if you had this either holistic yoga place or this holistic medical spa place where you could come in and you can get your medicine, but you also could partake in either massage therapy, or if there is in it yoga, or if there's a any type of medical treatments or whatever that might be on premise in regards to, maybe it's I don't know what type of physician you are, but if there's any type of therapies or anything of that nature. But basically, can you imagine if you were able to get your product and able to use it right there on premise while you were there being seen by that physician or by that nurse practitioner or by that, that practitioner there?
Exactly.
I think that would be so unique, and it's not being done as of yet.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Sounds good. Thank you. Can I take advantage and ask you another question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, my daughter also owns a business. It's a bath product business, selling bath bombs and essential oils and things like that. How do you think she could incorporate this business into it? Medical marijuana, or the paraphernalia or something? What
I would do is I would tell her to use CBD and incorporate that in. And if she makes bath bombs, then what she wants to do is get with a CBD company that she can get oil from, and that she can basically infuse CBD in her bath bombs. And if she looks that up, right. So tell her to look up CBD infusing in bathroom or in a personal products, things of like your lotions, your creams, CBD ointments and topicals. Look at what's being done thus far and see how she can then maybe take what she's already doing and then just kind of emulate what other people have done, and she does it under her brand, and then go from there. Okay.
Great.
And there's a ton of CBD
companies.
Thank you, Roz. Yeah, you're welcome. There's a ton of CBD companies out in Colorado and also in Oregon that will basically give you the raw product for her to be able to infuse into her product, and then she'll be able to be able to put on there, it could be whatever the name of her product is, and she can put infused with CBD. And now she has that claim because she's been able to infuse it. But you just have to figure out exactly how to titrate it, how you have to. Now that's a little bit above my pay grade in regards to that, but you have to figure out exactly how to make that product, but go from there.
Okay, thank you. Wonderful.
No, thank you. Thank you for coming on. All right, so we have some great people on. If you have a question, if you're in the panel as a participant, please raise your hand. Oh, wait, hold on one second. I think there's a couple people here. Okay, I got Barry and Pam. Here we got, let me see, got a question. It says, please advise on movement in Arkansas considering our litigation issues. Yes. Arkansas, I don't know, honey, I don't know what to tell you. There is a conference coming up. It's called the Arkansas Cannabis. It's December timeframe, and it's supposed to be focused on Arkansas, Texas, and Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken. You know what? I'm got my pad here. I'm gonna make a note. And what I'll do is I will post this. there is a conference that's going to be happening the end of the year in December, and we may possibly have some tickets for folks that are in the area to attend. So stay tuned for that. But I'll get the information for this conference and I'll send it out to you. I can't give you, you know what, the movement that you see, I would go back and what I would do is I would Google Arkansas cannabis update and then hit news and see if there's anything in the news that's been happening. But I know that Arkansas has been in a standstill, and it still is. And so I don't know exactly how that's going to move or not. But that's something that we definitely as an organization need to look at and see if there's anything that we can do on our side. But it's unfortunate because Arkansas has been legal since 2016, but they have not had any movement due to lawsuits and other different things that are happening with the program. Okay, next question. Coke was the first to be in the Coke business, so that doesn't surprise me. What does it do? Okay, gives an idea where the industry is about to go. Okay, so that was Audrey was answer that. That was about Coke and they're going into the cannabis beverage industry. Alrighty. So, any other questions? We got a little more time.
Yes, we have one from Malcolm. How do you ask doctor about changing meds?
Okay, good. And Malcolm, I'm thinking you're hoping to maybe have a conversation about changing meds and maybe looking at as medical cannabis as another option for yourself. And the first thing you do before you go into a doctor, you look up and you find out exactly if you are suffering from, let's say, it's sickle cell. Before you go into a doctor and you've been on certain medications and you know that those medications, let's say you've been on morphine or on Dilaudid, which is a pain, used for pain, and you want to try something different for your sickle cell. Well, the first thing I would do is, you know yourself, you know your body, and then you look at, one, your state, wherever you are, whatever state you're in. If you're in New York, or if you, let's say you're in Maryland, first look up and find out which medical conditions are covered under the medical marijuana program in Maryland. So if that medical condition is covered, then that opens up the gate very wide for you to say, hey, listen, I have sickle cell. This is covered under the medical marijuana program. I really want to talk about looking at a more holistic or natural way of dealing with my pain or dealing with my medical issue. How can I do this? And would you be willing to support me or direct me into a physician who would help me to understand if this is an option for me? And that's where I would start I would start there. I will tell you that you have to, before you talk to a physician, do your homework. Same thing that you would do with anything else. Know your stuff and know what the options are. You'll be surprised. A lot of physicians are not familiar with the endocannabinoid system. They're not familiar with understanding about, dosing. They don't know what the indica is. They don't know what a sativa strain is. They don't know this stuff. They're still new to it. So these are the type of things that if you have a physician, if he doesn't know, they may already have a bias. And if that bias is there, don't get frustrated. There's other physicians that do. And if you ever have a question and if you need a physician that you want to reach out to, that I can refer you to, feel free to send us a message and we will make sure that we find a physician that is someone that could be a good reference for you. Okay.
All righty. So from Trine Bean, and this may be the last one.
Okay.
Trine Bean from Ohio. Where I live, medical marijuana is illegal now. How can I about getting in as a dispensary or a cannabis business consultant? Okay.
Yeah. So a cannabis business consultant is someone who basically is consulting other people who want to get into the industry on how to get into the industry. Or you may be a consultant on a technology platform, or it depends on where your passion is and where your expertise is right now. So there's different consultants. You can be a travel consultant, you can be a technology consultant, you can be a financial consultant, you can be you might be a business development consultant. So these are type of things for consultant wise. Now, all you do is just put cannabis in the front of it. So now you become a cannabis business development consultant or a cannabis technology consultant. Whatever your strength is and whatever you're doing right now, that's what I would say for everyone that's listening. Don't try to go and reinvent the wheel. Tap into where you're, tap into your strength right now. Tap into your passion. Tap into what you're doing, and then try to figure out, how do I translate that over into the cannabis industry? So a consulting business is like anything else. You need to create a name for it. You need to have an LLC. You need to have your website. You need to be versed on everything that's going on. You need to start developing. Sometimes, guys, and I will tell you this, sometimes you give away some of your work for free, because if you don't have clients yet and you're just getting started, sometimes you have to go and look for clients, start working with them. And then when you start working with them and they start seeing the benefit of working with you, they're able to give testimonies, and it allows you to expand your pond and say, listen, I'm working with certain clients. And, when you don't have clients yet and you need clients, there's people out there who need your help. And maybe you do, you help them, but in exchange, you get them to write a great review about you on LinkedIn. Let me tell you guys something. If you're not on LinkedIn right now, please take a minute, take some time, develop your profile, get on LinkedIn. If you're going to be in the cannabis industry, it's going to be hard to try to go, I'm working over here, but I want to be in the cannabis industry. You have to start looking at, how do you come out of the cannabis closet and say, I have a cannabis company. Now, if you're working full time, you need to do that, stay there. And if you're not ready to jump out yet, take your time, do your research, prepare yourself. But all I'm saying for you right now is platforms like LinkedIn are an awesome place for you to develop your business, to get more business, to connect those dots. You can put in Ohio and cannabis and have all these people that pop up that are in the cannabis industry in Ohio. Start talking to them, telling them about your business, telling them about what you want to do, connecting those dots. If you're looking to get a dispensary in Ohio, I will tell you this, that there's going to be open and closed periods where they will open up and allow people to apply for a dispensary, and then they will have people apply, and then they make a decision. They go from there, and then they have a closed period. I'm not quite sure what's going on right now for you guys in Ohio, but I would say this, go to the Ohio Department of Health, their page, and if there should be an area where there's a medical marijuana office, click on there and find out how to become how to apply for a dispensary license, and click on there. And once you click there, it should give you all the information as to where you are. And let me tell you something, if it's open and if it's an opportunity to go after your license and to get a dispensary license, then there's so much work that you can do, that you have to do, but you can do it. You have to start aligning, getting your resources together, your money. You need someone that knows about how to do a dispensary, and also someone that can help you set the business up and make sure that you're all ready to go. So hopefully they answer your question regarding Ohio. I wish you the best there. Make sure that if you have more questions, come on next week. I think we have a couple of, let me see. I have a couple questions here. I think I went through everything. Okay, yes, and so go ahead.
So from Leonard Payne. Hi, Roz. I missed most of the session. I live in Chicago, Illinois. How do I reach you by email to get some information on any aspects of profiting on marijuana?
So Leonard, I'm typing you right now. You just go to ROZ, ROZ, at m4mmunited.org. And you send me an email and I will respond back. Hakeem, I hear you. You said, what's the difference between myself and the Black Business School? Well, myself, you get an hour of my time, and that's it. And this is random questions and just being the best that I can be to answer those questions for you. The Black Business School will go more in depth. They're going to be able to give you some really key takeaways and answer those questions, but also give you some traction so that you can learn some of this and bring in these special speakers and folks that can really help you and help you understand how to navigate through this industry. And so I encourage you from a perspective of, if you're first starting out, if you need a home, you guys got to figure out where your home is. If you're just wanting to kind of graze the area, then you might want to be a member of M4MM and just, you know, say, hey, I appreciate what you're doing. You're a nonprofit organization. I want to support your advocacy work, and we're going to keep watching you. And if anything I can do to help, I'm here. If you want to really get in deep and learn more about the industry and be able to glean a lot of information from subject matter experts, and you want to, you know, absorb a lot more, the Black Business School may be that opportunity for you. And so that's why you have to determine, Hakeem, what exactly is it you're trying to do and get accomplished, and then decide from there. And hopefully I answered that question for you. All righty, guys, it's 2 o'clock. I want to thank you so much.
So
I appreciate everyone. I got this one last question. I'm a real estate agent. How do I translate it to the industry? Real estate agents, there is something called commercial real estate. People are going to be coming into your city, into your town, into your state, looking for real estate, looking for warehouses, looking for retail space. If you are a realtor and if you're interested in this industry, commercial real estate is where it's at. And also, if you're a realtor or if you own property, you can list your property. There's different places to list your property for sale, or if you want to list it for rent, that's for cannabis companies. There is a model called CannaHub, and it's out of California. It's Canna, C-A-N-N-A Hub. And CannaHub is a great opportunity for you to tap into and see their model and how they work the commercial real estate side of cannabis. All right, guys, I'm 1 minute over. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. You guys are awesome. Hakeem, I see your question. I'm going to answer your question for you offline. I appreciate you guys. Join us back next Friday. Thank you, Mike, for helping and standing in for us, Charles. I appreciate you so much. You guys stay connected, stay motivated. This information is so pertinent. Please make sure you tell people about this. I'd love to talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much.
Yeah, bye, guys.
Bye-bye.